We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, I run it, and I'm responsible for what happens here. Cambridge Analytica wasn't using our services in 2015 as far as we can tell. So this is clearly one of the questions that I asked our team as soon as I learned about this is why did we wait last month to ban them? It's because as of the time that we learned about their activity in 2015, they weren't an advertiser, they weren't running pages, so we actually had nothing to ban. There's a very common misperception about Facebook that we sell data to advertisers. And we do not sell data to advertisers.
Well,
we don't sell data to anyone.
You clearly rent it.
What we allow is for advertisers to tell us who they want to reach, and then we do the placement. This is an ongoing arms race. As long as there are people sitting in Russia whose job it is to try to interfere with elections around the world, this is going to be an ongoing conflict. What I can commit is that we're going to invest significantly because this is a top priority to make sure that people aren't spreading misinformation or trying to interfere in elections on Facebook.
Mr. Zuckerberg, would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
If you've messaged anybody this week, would you share with us the names of the people you've messaged?
Senator, no, I would probably not choose to do that publicly here.
I think that may be what this is all about. Your right to privacy, the limits of your right to privacy, and how much you give away in modern America in the name of, quote, connecting people around the world.
Is it an alternative to Facebook in the private sector?
Yes, Senator. The average American uses 8 different apps to communicate with their friends and stay in touch with people, ranging from texting apps to email.
Which is the same service you provide?
Well, we provide a number of different services.
Is Twitter the same as what you do?
It overlaps with a portion of what we do.
You don't think you have a monopoly?
It certainly doesn't feel like that to me.
Okay.
Which are you? Are you a tech company or are you the world's largest publisher?
Do we feel a responsibility for the content on our platform? The answer to that, I think, is clearly yes. But I don't think that that's incompatible with fundamentally at our core being a technology company where the main thing that we do is have engineers and build products.
Have you ever collected the content of phone calls or messages through any Facebook application or service?
Senator, I don't believe we've ever collected the content of phone calls. We have an app called Messenger that allows people to message mostly their Facebook friends.
I assume Facebook's been served with subpoenas from the special counsel Mueller's office. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you or anyone at Facebook been interviewed by the special counsel's office?
Yes.
Have you been interviewed?
I have not. I have not.
Others have.
I believe so, and I want to be careful here because that our work with the special counsel is confidential, and I want to make sure that in an open session I'm not revealing something that's confidential.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Gorilla Truth. I am your host and speaker, Marlon Brand. I will be joined tonight by my guest host speaker, Jeff Klein. But before I bring on Jeff, I just wanted to talk to you for a little bit. I shared that clip there to help you understand that to be social is to be gathered amongst people. We may not all share in the same walks in life, but we come together with one understanding and one truth, that my freedom should be my freedom and my liberty should be my liberty. I should be able to live in this world as a civil person and carry the rights to be able to make decisions for me and my family, the best decisions, but I should also be taken care of and made sure that we're able to make the best decisions. Whether times are hard, whether times are rough, nobody should be abandoned. And this is where we are right now in America. Your privacy is no longer a secret. Your freedom and civil liberty is diminished. Administration after administration. We all seen what happened with the storming of the Capitol. We seen what took place there. Was it a bunch of racist Antifa white folks that are looking to keep a racist regime afloat? Or was it just your normal school teacher, local businessman, mother and father? People are just tired of the oppression. For we know, though, if the shoe was on the other foot, if had them been black folk, we already know what type of response that would have been. It would have looked like something out of a civil rights movement. And I'm not talking about the marching and the chain. I'm talking about the Doberman pinchers being attacked and sicked on people. But with all of these different things taking place, there's a divide taking place. And this is what we want to talk to you tonight about, is that divide. Socially, we're divided. And who's causing that divide? And with that said, I want to bring on Jeff Klein. Who's causing that racial divide? Because it's so easy for us
What up?
to say something or speak up, but we don't understand who's controlling those things. Jeff, thank you for being here. I'm sorry, I'm feeling it
Nah,
tonight because
keep on preaching.
there's so
Keep on
many
preaching.
things. There's so many, yeah, no, but there's so many conversations that I've had with different people that I'm starting to realize that people are really confused. We have so many different factions of thought of what's taking place, but what's really taking place is that they're putting us in a position to where we have to choose against each other, 50-50 split on both sides, but both sides, we both want the same thing.
Yeah.
And the same thing is going to be what we're going to be delivering and talk here tonight. So Jeff, go ahead, you can introduce and say
Welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
mhm.
We're back again.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff going on. There is, I was getting text messages. I was being told that Trump was coming on tonight to make a national announcement. I haven't heard it yet, so
Yeah.
if that's still going to happen. But there's just there is a divide, and that divide was placed there on purpose. And in most situations, when there is an just like a overthrow of a government,
Mhm.
or a new regime wants to take over, a takeover, I should say. Normally, they use some kind of angle to divide a civilization, a culture. So we look at other countries like Bosnia and Croatia and those northern European countries where they used religion.
Yeah.
One was a Muslim, and the other one was a certain type of Muslim, and they divided the Serbs, and they just basically put the propaganda out there. They know how to lay it out. It has been written in by theologians for a long time, how to keep the lower classes divided, so that the higher classes, the elites, can manipulate economies,
manipulate other countries,
Mhm.
and gather wealth however they see that fit. And so that's been going on. We see it happen in colonialism through Africa.
Yeah.
You see it all through even the Muslim countries in the Middle East. You see it in Europe, Northern Europe. But it brings you back to the point, and I told you this the other day, that there is a scripture in the Bible that it talks about. It says, "My people will perish from the lack of knowledge." And, you know, it's not just the lack, it's the rejection of knowledge as well.
Yeah.
And so we see this mindset that what I see, what I feel has to be real.
Yeah.
And so the powers to be understand that, and the powers to be have infiltrated all of the media and all. So you see social media feeding what I see and what I believe has to be true. So you
Yeah.
have your truth and I have my truth. And that has forced us as a culture, as a country, not to rely on the simple understanding of thinking through processes. And I just
Mhm.
had this conversation with my friend Big D. If you're out there, thanks for supporting us and passing me all this information. He is my right hand man. He's been texting me and sending me stuff all week
Okay.
and
No
calming me
doubt.
down because we were both like, "What's going on?" And so we had a conversation this morning, and it was a personal conversation, but I wanted to just bring up a point where people can't work through what they see and what they feel as a problem and problem solve through their emotions.
Mm.
And so what's happening is if I feel an emotion, there's got to be a problem with something else. And they
Yeah.
project that to whoever is villainized in whoever they're told to villainize.
Mm.
And so right now we have a group of people who are being who through social media, through every aspect, through education, social media, through policies and procedures, through the government, um, uh, I don't what other even through arts and entertainment. Who is villainized? And so when you see a people group starting to be villainized or a one person, I was told a long time ago, and they looked at all the leaders, all the great leaders, and there was as those leaders were rising up in the ranks and becoming, a leader in a larger platform. And as they raised up platform to platform, they there will be one pattern that you will see, and that pattern will be that they will start to be villainized in some kind of aspect. And once they start to be villainized, that's when you know that they are being a true leader. Because what's happening is the people that are actually supporting them or believe in what the leader says, they're going forward and following that leader. But the people that can't follow, that there's some kind of conflict within themselves, within their ideology, that they want to not look at themselves, they want to look and villainize the leader. And so I was taught that a long time ago in a leadership class, and I always thought that I was like, villainize. I hope I never get to that place, but right now I just want to give you a heads up. My partner is having some internet problems, So I'm not sure if we're still online. So I'm just texting him real quick. So if we are up, I'll keep on talking. And so he brought up,
Are you still there?
yeah, I'm still here. I kept on talking. I didn't know if everybody could hear me.
Okay, now we're good. I guess
Okay.
I don't know. I must have been hooked up to the wrong Wi-Fi hookup here, and it just started slowing down. And anyway, but anyway, in the middle, you were saying just continue to go on. Sorry. Where you were.
So I just got to the place where the leadership of what we're going through right now through Trump has been villainized to the point that people don't need to look internally into their internal issues and how they've internalized the world society and see that maybe he is just leading us in the right direction.
Hmm.
And maybe these things that they use in the media, the racial divide. You brought up a good point. If it was if it was African American fighting for rights, you see in the '60s when they were trying to just get rights to live their lives. You saw dogs being sicked on them. All those crazy images that we see.
Yep.
But for society to think that that was normal, they had to villainize that group.
Yep.
They had to say black is bad. They had to say, look at these people, they're savages. There's all those labels that society put on these individuals. But there was real people that said that's not real. There was white people that said no. He what's the name? He lives right next door. His family lives right next door. That is not how they act. That is not who they are. And they stood up with them and said, no, these people need but they were able to take and say, whoa, there's something inside of me that maybe is not right. I'm not going with the bigger group. I'm not going with what society's telling me, but what is inside of me? Let me think and process through this process of solving this problem in society for myself,
Yeah.
and walk through that process and figure out what inside of me I need to change. And so right now we're in a place where nobody's going to change, whether you're right wing, whether you're left
Left
wing.
wing. Yep.
And then you have a huge amount of people that are saying, you know what I really believed, I was right wing and these right wingers were with me. They're saying these people aren't with me. They were all power hungry, just like the people that I'm against on the left. And we basically have a one party government right now, and we've had it for a long time. But the image or the perception that there was a Republican and a Democrat, all that has gone out the window when they stood there and knew that there was voting fraud. They knew all of this stuff that was going on, that they had to get Donald Trump out of power because they were either told or they couldn't come to grips with what's inside of them and deal with their own demons so that Trump could move forward and move this country forward into basically into total peace. I mean, he wants to bring peace to the world. He wants to bring peace to this country through Trumpsara. I'm coining that phrase, but that was his goal, to eliminate and go back to a congressional republic that stands on the Constitution and eliminate the corporation of the United States of America and go back to what the founders originally planned for this country. And they knew that, and they knew that they were going to lose power.
And that was one of the big things too, and why I used Mark Zuckerberg in the beginning, because when you said corporations, the corporation has now put themselves in a position of actually running politics. See, politics no more, it has nothing to do with the common man and woman, the ones that are actually voting. All the interest and everything is now going to corporations, where they're being levied different policies and things like that, and zoning laws, and they're also with the subsidies and all of this and different things, just to be able to have a corporation in certain cities. I said there are so many different avenues that leaves the common man and woman like us out, that at this point, when we vote, where our vote, it really doesn't even matter. And that's what happened with Trump. When Trump ended up getting into the office, and I know I always sound like a Trump apologist, even though I stand in the middle. I'm just
Yeah.
for what's true. But I know a lot of times people are like, "Oh, you for Trump?" I said, "Listen, I'm just an apologist just to try to help you understand what's really going on." Because even what took place at, like I said in my message, what took place at the Capitol, I said a lot of times, I said people are so psyched up on, oh, it's just a bunch of racist people. They just want to keep the racistness of America. That's why they want Trump. I said it could be a handful of that as well. But I guarantee you there's more so a lot of people that really understands what's taking place in these policies and what Congress and them are really doing and been doing over the past few
Yeah.
years. And see, what's happening is now it's becoming something to where they're going to be controlling us and form through other ways of laws. Like you think about now using the coronavirus as a good example. People right now, you have an option to take the shot or not for the vaccine. But what's going to end up happening now is this, just like that one plane company that's already saying you can't get on this flight unless you have the vaccine already.
Yeah.
See, that's how they implement little laws and create a socialistic society where there's little laws that they seep in, they throw in a law here, a law there. And we, as the little people, don't know what's happening. And these laws come down upon us. And then we're like, hey, but you voted for that guy or you voted for that woman. But what's happening is that one good conversation I was listening to earlier, a guy was talking about is like now that the Democrats run everything, they got the Senate, they got the presidency now. There's no excuse for y'all to pass things and get things going. Now Biden has on the table education for all, not the education for all, but the to pay off college debt up to $10,000. But just a couple of weeks ago, he was saying that he may not be able to do that. But they already have that bill written up. But see, there's always going to be uh, an excuse of why they can't get something done, because if it's not in the best interest of big corporation, it has nothing to do with us being equal and unity and the racial divide. One of the good key points I heard earlier as well was that when Joe Biden was referring to the Republican Party, he was referring to Ted Cruz and I think is it Sean Hawley? I forgot even stand or something Hawley, but I know it was Ted Cruz. He referred to them as a racist, a guy, a Nazi, from like a Nazi propagandist guy. He said that they don't even need to be, because a question was asked to Joe Biden, said, do you think they need to be let go out of Congress because of them supporting Trump? Well, they said, you know what, people need a voice in Congress because they don't have a voice on the outside. So them speaking up for Trump and this voter fraud, knowing that all of this evidence is out here, knowing that all this evidence and stuff is being overheard, people are not even respecting the fact that they're trying to at least speak out for the people in that way. We know they're still going to push and get Biden in there. We know what their agenda already is. But at the end of the day, I say all of this to only say this one thing, is that we as the people have to look at what took place with the storming of the Capitol, as that is the only way. And I feel like people look at me and say, well, we need to wait. No, there's no other way. If you study history always got to the point of a French Revolution type of thing. With the people at the bottom, you're constantly taxing me. My dollar is less and less and less. You're constantly taxing me over and over and over again. And I'm paying. The other day, I just bought a juice that I remember paying last year. I paid only $1.50 for, Jeff. I just paid $3 for this juice at the gas station the other day. And I brought it into the car and I told my girlfriend, I said, wow, that's funny how my $5 was just the value between buying this juice and buying a couple of bags of chips, which was 59 cents for one bag and two for $1. And I said, it's these type of things that us as the American people that we have to realize that we have to take back the country and we have to stop them from doing what they're trying to do. I know I throw a lot out there, but I
No.
get very passionate and very upset about this kind of stuff because there's so many people ignorant to what's really taking place. But go ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna. I think to kind of break down into to get to. I guess let's break it down in a way that we can get to the frustration that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, you talk about big corporations.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the layer right above us.
Right.
There really right now there is a war. There are two agendas in this world. There are two great resets going on. The one great reset is the Nasara, what Trump is trying to implement. And then there is what the world banking system, the cabal, whatever name you want to label these people, the people that are sitting in higher places, we will never know who they are.
Right.
And those individuals do the shaking and baking of the world and pull the strings. And right now they know that this world economy, which they have planned for a long time and put things in place, and I don't want to go all into those details, but they have placed things in place because they know the long game.
Mm-hmm.
They're not here for the short game. They know that me and you, we want the short game. Our lives are short.
Short. Yep.
We know that, that $5 goes a long way when we buy chips and some snacks and whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But what's happening is with the infiltration of what this great reset that they're trying to accomplish. And the flip side of, I'm sorry, I want to give, because I'm hitting on points that you talked about with Biden. But what I want to just lay this out. And so this great reset that the global economy wants, the global banking system is, they want total control of every country. They don't want any sovereign countries that can make the decisions for themselves to build their own economy, to use their own economy to build wealth for themselves. They need to have they need their hands in the pot, and they want to control it. And so right now, the world is in debt. We have printed and created more money and in debt in the world than we could ever get back in. There is no, there is no debt debt retaliation.
Consolidation. You can't consolidate that.
Yeah, I can't even say the word. I'm sorry.
No, it's good, but
there is no plan for this. It's the world debt, and every country is in debt. And if they're not in debt, then that means that they are a third world country, and they're not even surviving as people in the way that they should. They don't have the right to running water. You know what I'm saying? Those are the type of countries that aren't. Maybe they are in debt, but they, the people aren't in debt. They're in debt to the world economy because all of those resources in the world are controlled. And we could feed the world. We can take care of every single person on this earth. But if we did that, guess what would happen? We wouldn't have any divide.
Yeah,
me and you wouldn't be seen as you wouldn't be seen as black. I wouldn't be seen as white. We would be a human being on this world, living as a human being with all the rights to make our lives better, to work for ourselves, to take care of our families, and to build wealth for our
All of it.
families,
Yep. Yep.
And so what's happening is this battle has trickled down into America because the rest of the world basically is on the brink of destruction. So there is no other countries out there, world powers, that their economy is strong enough to withhold or withstand the power of the world banking system. They could crumble any country out there except there's two countries, China and America, and maybe Russia. I'm going to leave Russia out of the conversation because I don't know how I feel about Russia and where they stand. But I will tell you, so this world economy, these group of people that want this great reset for the world, that basically wants to wipe out all the debt and then have them indebted, us indebted to them. See, that's the difference.
Yes.
Right? You're not wiping out the debt.
Mhm.
What you're doing is saying, don't worry what you owe. I got you. Come back, come to me, Big Papa,
Yeah.
and I'll give you
I
and
get
I'll
it.
give you what you need. But you know what? You got to do what I tell you to do. You got to sell this. You can only do this. You can only take care of this type of person.
Yep, the socialism.
If you're Christian, you might not get it. If you're
Yeah,
Muslim, you might not get
and
it.
I get it.
It depends on who they say and what they say happens.
But
And
you may not
so
you may not even be able to participate though, depending on if you have a religious. Because if you think
ex-
about it now, religion, you can't even participate now with the church. That's one thing I wanted to ask you too, not as a side note. How does that work with your church and politics? Because I know they have was the 503c what's that, the tax thing to where, but they can't get involved. Church and state is separate. So how does that? I don't. How does that work? Because I only speaking to what you're saying is like I don't even. I think that would be something totally different, or they will continue to use that to condition or to do something through. Because that's how I feel like right now is that all these churches, where's the political voice? And because nobody's holding the political leaders accountable. There's so many. See, I look at it like there's so many churches in a neighborhood that's downtrodden in the ghettos that you raise a mayor, but they don't hold that mayor or that city councilman or woman or anybody accountable. And we have all of this, but all these churches, but see, that's that tax thing. You have to separate the church and state. But I just always thought that was different. But continue on, like you would say. That's
well,
just a side note
I
with
will
what you
tell
were
you
saying.
that I believe, this is my belief, is when they surrected the 501(c), whatever it is, if you go to that bill and when you sign that, basically sign up for that tax-free exempt opportunity
Yeah.
as a church or as a nonprofit organization, you are signing to basically, you have instructions of what you can do and what you can't do. You are controlled by the government at that point. And there are a lot of Christians that are out there that believe that when the church did that, they basically gave their rights and their power in America to the government, which was never meant to be. In the Bible, you pay what's due to the government.
Yeah.
And so, even when in the Bible, there's this a part of the scriptures where the Pharisees and the church leaders of that time went to Jesus and said, if you're your own king and you're this, you're that, they were implying that you're saying that you're the Messiah, but how do you pay Caesar the taxes? And he said, you pay Caesar what he is owed, the
Yep, and
government.
wrote it.
And
Yep.
so it is told through the Bible that as Christians, you still have to follow government rule,
Hmm.
but and you pay what the government is asking you in those taxes. You can't get around that. And so just to answer, I don't want to go too deep into this, but
No, no, yeah, but that's yeah.
even, and I'll bring up Trump again. Trump told the pastors in a group of pastors, he said, I believe that the church lost their voice and their power in America when they signed that 503c1c or whatever it is, 5010c, whatever it is.
5113.
So even Trump said, I want to take that out of the plan.
Mhm.
I want us to get churches off, because basically what churches are on right now, they are breastfeeding from the government.
Yeah, because that's what's Jeff. It don't make no sense. You can go on Hudson. You go on Hudson Avenue. There's 7 to 8 churches, guaranteed, all the way from the hood, all the way down out there. You'll find probably 2 or 3 big ones,
Yeah.
to where they can hold these cities, these buildings, these ran down companies, every corner store, liquor store. Me and my best friend were just talking about this recently. I said, all these corner stores and these liquor stores, I said, don't you know that people can vote against that? You can
Yeah.
you can say, hey, we only want a couple corner stores here, and want them to be 2 miles apart.
Yeah.
We we want a liquor store to only be at a plaza. We don't want a liquor store, gun store, liquor store, corner store, liquor store, hair store, clothing store, Family Dollar, Family Dollar. I said it only happens because the people don't have the voice, and we're allowing the
Sure.
big corporation to just say, hey, uh, they don't care as long as they have the bare necessities, and we get and see now with the government that we're going to be having now, Democrats run everything. It's going to be a lot of handouts, and it's going to be nice. A lot of people are going to enjoy this. It's going to be a lot of hope. Like I speak to it, Jeff. I speak to the college payoffs. Well, who's going to pay back the banks? Because those are the banks are going to be, so something's going to be happening in the back room that our children's children, our children and our children's children is going to have to pay for. But there's a list of things that we can go down that we see that causes this divide, but it's going to be hard because this administration right now is going to put so much honey on it, and I like some things. There's some things that I can agree to, but it's the how we get to it, and who's going to suffer and who's going to have to pay for it.
Well, I just want to say off the bat, there is no new administration. Trump has not lost. I know. Every time
Hey,
I
no,
talk to you,
listen.
you
I
talk
know, I
about
know.
what play. There's nothing left. You like, I'll just have to see.
Hey,
Listen, I'm telling you
go ahead,
right
let them
now,
have it. We'll let them have it, Jeff, right
I want to break this down for you. I'm
now.
preaching
No,
to you right now,
okay.
because
I'm listening.
I
I'm
need
listening.
to uplift your spirits, and not worry about all this other crazy stuff
Okay, all
that
right.
could
I'm
happen.
here. I'm
Okay,
here.
so Trump is not going to be. Biden will not be the next president, and
Oh, snap. Y'all heard it
I'm
first here.
saying it on Gorilla Truth right now.
You heard that. We got 7 people right now in the room. All right, y'all heard this right now, okay? We got 2 on Facebook, 2 on YouTube, 2 on my person. All right, let's go.
I
Y'all
got
hear it
faith,
here first.
and what
All
I'm going to
right.
tell you right now,
Mhm.
that battle between the reset and what I'm stealing as called Trump Sara,
Mhm.
those things, the things that we are seeing right now, had to play out. It was all a movie. It was all planned and preparation so that we can prove to the people the exact conversation that we're having right now, that the government does not have the will of the people in mind when they govern.
Mm.
And so you feel that way. You even said, we got to storm Capitol because we got to force them to change their ways.
Yeah.
We put them in power, but they have they're not turning around and giving us
Whatsoever.
anything for that.
Whatsoever.
And so what's happening is Trump is allowing what I brought up before, the American corporation to die and implode. Because in the American corporation, the same way you feel about those corporations that are taking our money and power and taking abusing the people below, the corporation of America is doing the same thing. It's a separate entity. The government is a corporation, and they are sucking their people dry for power and money. And we've talked about this. You go back on all of our shows, we talk about how government has made money and all the different deals that they make to make money.
Right.
And so what is happening is Trump is going to reenact and going to be the first president of a new republic. The new republic will be the creation of the republic that was before the 1760. So whatever was the republic at the at the beginning, and I believe in 1870, America became a republic. So from 1871 till now, we have not had one legitimate president.
Okay.
So Trump never was even a legitimate president.
So you're saying that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that because what I'm thinking, I'm probably going ahead at that.
No, go ahead.
All of the Trump supporters, all of the people that really voted for him, all of those people that we saw that marched to the Capitol, they're saying, okay, they're shutting you down on all social medias, everything. Okay, we see where this is all headed. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna start our own party.
They're not starting anything. What I'm saying is Trump had this planned from the get-go because you have to remember I told you there's two battles in this world. There's two. The Great Reset and Nasara. And Nasara is the way that gives back what the people are owed. No taxes, there will be taxes, but you're not raping and pillaging the people. Okay? And so the Great Reset is where you're going to make people feel good, like Biden said, oh yeah, we can take your debt away. We can do that. No more this, no more that. But still you're in control of these world banking elites who only want to rule the world and take over the entire world. They don't care about a sovereign nation. They don't care about your rights and the way, you talked about all the things, your civil rights, your family, all that stuff. And so what Trump is trying to do is show the people how this corporation has to crumble. The executives of this corporation are the Congress, are the governments, are the judges. Those are the people that have lied, stolen, committed treason on the people that they were supposed to protect. So this movie had to play out in a way that the people could see the treason, the people can see that they have no ability, or that the government has no intent to do what's right for the people. And so he has to allow that corporation basically to crumble to the ground and then re-erect the correct government that existed before
Or
1870 or 1871. And so in doing that, all those Trump haters they're gonna love it.
I
Because
know.
guess what? He never did any term as as a president in the new Republic of the United States of America. He could actually do another 8 years.
What? That's what I'm, this is that I said this is all this is
And this is all
news.
coming out. This is why Twitter, Facebook,
Everybody's shutting them
because
down.
this information is all starting to, all the dots of everything that he did, all the special all of the things that he signed off on, the executive orders, all the things that he was trying to fight for. Remember when he said he wanted to fight for section the bill 230 or whatever for all
Yeah,
the social
direct to
medias?
repeal, yeah.
Why didn't they sign it? Why didn't they put that in there? Because they knew this was going to happen. They knew this was going to happen. They knew that Italy was involved, and they knew.
Yeah, see.
I mean, right now it hasn't been confirmed. Not only did a top Italian what ambassador, the Italian ambassador, got arrested. There's pictures of him walking out with Pompeo's.
What?
So there,
Yeah, okay.
so Pompeo's walked this guy out,
Mhm.
arrested. There is, it hasn't been confirmed, but they're saying that the Italian president has been arrested as well for
Wow.
meddling in our election.
See, this is huge. This is huge. So that's what I'm saying. So right now, because they did say, and this I did hear this, that a lot of Trump's cohorts are getting their accounts silenced as well, not just Trump itself. There's a lot of people, a lot of the Republican Party members. They're even affecting that one app you told me about, Parler. I think either Google and iTunes. I think they both took them off, or one of them
Well, they
took
were
them off
trying
after that.
to, but I just heard right now, the latest news is Amazon is shutting them down because Amazon is where they actually get their servers from.
So Amazon's going to
Amazon
shut
owns
Parler
the
down.
servers. Yep. So Amazon
Oh,
said,
come on, Amazon. See,
so Jeff Bezos, right?
yeah,
Amazon.
yep.
And so so the things that we see with our natural eye, and I will tell you, for Trump supporters, even for people who hated Trump, what we see in these last couple days through the elections, through storming, I just heard tonight from a very good source that not only was that Antifa that stormed, kind of stormed the Capitol building, right?
Yep.
They knew that Antifa was going to do that. So there's a very good source out there.
Oh, hold on. Yo, did you share that? Did you see the video of the one? Oh, hold on. Go ahead. Continue to say what you were saying. I gotta share this with you.
Okay, so
Thumbs
I
up.
didn't know this play until tonight. So this is a new play on what I saw. So I'm not saying that everybody that stormed that thing was Antifa. That's
Right,
not the
right,
truth.
right.
I saw a video of a woman. My sister told me about it. I went and looked for it. I found basically a Democrat who changed to Republican, or I don't know if she changed to Republican, but to a Trump supporter who was so angry with the fraud and what's going on with this country. She stormed the Capitol building, and when she was done, she said, "I do not care. I do not." you could think whatever you think about me, but I stormed it, and I don't apologize for it. And she had a whole rant about how she will not apologize for trying to take back a country that has been stolen from her. And she was not even a Republican or a Trump supporter not too long ago. And so you see some of these people that are standing up for Trump now
Mm-hmm.
on the internet, on social media. These people weren't even Trump fans 2 years ago. They didn't vote for Trump,
Mm-hmm.
but they were the individuals that use problem-solving skills to work through all the mind control and the mess that they've been taught to figure out that what Trump was doing is trying to usher in a new, or go back to, it's not a new, but it's new to us, go back to the original constitutional rule and the original constitutional government of the United States of America and usher in this concept of Nasara. And so in that attack, in that infiltration of the Capitol building, I don't know, I'm talking. You could stop me and ask me questions anytime.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So in that infiltration, Trump had his intel with them acting, and with them acting as Antifa, with Antifa. And when they got into they knew that the government was going to, because they wanted to make Trump look bad. They
Right.
wanted to make the patriots these evil, horrible people. And when they stormed it, it was planned. You saw the cops open the gates. You saw this.
Yep.
You saw that.
Yep.
There's even videos. I don't know. I don't want to talk to disrespect somebody who may or may not have passed away. But there's even videos of that woman that got shot. It was staged. I don't know the truth about that. But what I am trying to say is I saw the federal police open up the gates and wave them through.
Oh
Actually
no.
say wave them through. Oh, it go that way. And there's
Oh
other,
yeah.
there's stuff all out there. They took it all down now. You can't see nothing. And so a group of Trump, they call them white hats, whatever names you want to call, infiltrated the Antifa. And when they went into the Congress room, into the main area, they went to all the offices and they confiscated 20 or 22 laptops, and they have gone through those laptops and they're about to leak that stuff tomorrow, I believe.
What?
And now they have, in front of the whole world, all of the declassified stuff he's about to declassify about what happened with him through the fake Russia dossier. He's about to declassify.
See, they didn't even bring that out. See, that's
Even
crazy.
the Italian thing. It is proven right now. We know that Obama stole money from America and paid another country to basically corrupt our voting.
Oh no, yeah, I heard about that. That he had during his presidency towards the end that he had some money put off in some offshore accounts, and all that money was put off. About 400 million was the number they said, but that 400 million was actually to go towards the Dominion machines and all that other good
Yeah.
talk, good stuff that took place with that, which is
And
very
so
very interesting.
they have all of this proof all
Mhm.
laid out. And those and the governors or the congressmen, none of those people even said to themselves, maybe there is some fraud. And you know why they couldn't do that? Because they knew there was fraud all along.
They knew it.
They didn't know how big it was, but for them to say that Trump is right, there was some fraud, they would have to admit that there's been fraud in every election for the last 30 years, maybe more.
And that's something they would hate to do.
The Democratic Party has been doing the same thing for years and years and years. You think that New York, well, New York, Philly, places in California, all these Democratic strongholds, Chicago, Detroit, Democratic strongholds, they have created a system that they can cheat every year and get their people in no matter what. It's been going on for a long time.
Man, it's crazy because some people they think about some of this stuff and they're just like I talked to some guys at the job and they're just like, oh, this is conspiracy theory stuff, and I'm like, bro, you gotta get out here and really see. And I that's I wanted to share. I want to share this video just because it's stuff like this. When I seen this video, I found this to be very, very interesting. When they were storming the Capitol, watch this guy. He's just letting them in.
Yeah.
Look at this. This doesn't make any sense to me. He's telling him to back up, but then he runs away from him and lets him. Come on. Look at that. That was so fake. Like, look at that little soft. Watch this one. Look.
It's all staged, bro. It's
like,
all staged.
What is Yo, Jeff, I'll tell you, when I seen that, I was like, yo, what is going on? Like, and so, but people they keep saying conspiracy theories, but then I can show you something like that. It's like, bro, that's a cop. Now you know how police, if you didn't want, you would be up on the people, back up. You would have had all that backup rushing down there. Y'all just let the people come in to create this mass hysteria.
And there's even proof that Trump asked, he knew the play. He already knew. So he put it out, hey, do you need any help? We can bring in the National Guard. But because it's a Democratic mayor and the mayor had orders to do certain things, she had to follow through because and we talk about the racial divide in this country. It's a black mayor. Who's giving her orders?
Oh, see, they played it in the papers saying that they don't have because they need to. They're saying that they're trying to get DC counted as a 51st state because they don't have say so over the U.S. Marshal, over the marshals. Something they would say. I was reading something earlier. They were breaking that down, saying they're trying to get that she didn't necessarily have say so. I mean, they'll tell us anything at this point, but that's kind of something they were kind of like laying out there and saying to the people. Like, I'm like,
well, there's federal. It's really it's federal land. It's the only property that people can live on that is actually federal land. Is Washington D.C.
Oh, okay, got you. See, that's what it possibly was. But I said we don't, like you said, there's a hand in the back, definitely with her. And like you said, her being African American, I said, in of DC, I said, see, me personally, I look at all of them as puppets. But especially in a specific position like that, and to allow to take place what took place the other day with storming of the Capitol, it's like, why would you just allow that? Why wouldn't y'all be better prepared? Y'all were laying out barricades and everything the day before, but just like you see the video, they were just letting the people in. They turned their backs and ran up the stairs and let the people come in.
I saw one video that an actual barricade, which was really just like a sawhorse, like a 2x4 held up by 4 2x4s. He just moved it and started waving people like, you want to come in, go this way. I saw somebody waving people in. I was like, what?
What is going on?
It's all, and that's what I'm trying to say. It's a movie, and it's all playing out in front of Americans' eyes, and what they want us to see, they're going to show us. As soon as it was done, what did they do? We got to impeach Trump. We got to take his ability. He could drop a nuke. Let's take his ability. Nancy went on.
Oh my gosh!
Went public and said, I talked to Pentagon, and we're taking his right away from dropping nukes. Who's he dropping a nuke on? The only nuke that's being dropped is that they are the corporation of the evil, or they're the corporate leaders of an evil corporation that is about to crumble. That's the nuke that is blowing up in front of our eyes, and the people that can sift through all of the little glimpses of what is going on are the ones that are saying it's not over. It's not over. There's still another play. Right now, Trump supposedly, I don't know how these people know all this stuff, but there was
Yeah.
people on Twitter that follow the planes and just they know where every plane in America is, and they know right now that Trump is in Texas in a national like a secured military defense area, and he's protected. Why is he there? There is some things that are about to happen, and I hate to say it, all these crazy people that have been saying when this goes down, you better have some food in your house, you better have guns on you, you better have all this stuff, because when all of this goes down and there is basically this, you think that the world banking system, the people that have taken everything from every country, that doesn't care about you or me, that would we read the stories, we don't know how true it is, how they rape and do satanic things to babies and all this crazy stuff.
Yep, we hear it.
No real sense of humanity. They don't care about that. Do you think that they are going to allow Trump to take what they have done and planned for since 1870? You know what I'm saying? And even before that, the World Bank. These people have been planning for this time and used, because they realized that Trump was going this way, and Trump was basically what's the word I'm looking for? Like, Trump was the blip in the matrix.
Yeah, see, that's what it was.
They had
That's
their
what it was.
plan and it was going to happen. They had China on basically on steroids, going out into the world, taking over the world. They're pumping China money. They're giving money to China to go take over worlds, doing whatever they can, because they know that they needed some kind of way to spread and to do this. And so they can't do it themselves. A bank can't go out and create their own government and go and just take the world by storm.
I know, right?
So they use China, and China is in bed with them. And we see we talked about this, all Joe Biden's son, all of these leaders, all of that stuff that China has infiltrated in America is all because they're getting the okay to take over the world by the world banking system. And so now we're in this place
Yeah,
where we can no longer go, if no matter what. And let's say I'm lying, let's say that what I'm saying is not true, and
right.
Trump is done, and Trump goes off and lives his life. We still can't go back to what we are used to 2 to 3 years ago. Our economy, our lives will not ever be able to be sustained
Not at
by
all.
going forward in the same way. And everybody knows that,
Yeah,
except for us,
and that's
except
why
for the people that work every day.
a lot of people got mad at Mitch McConnell, but I said it's people like that think that's kind of like, even though you may have his hands in some things too, it's still kind of like people. We're just spending, printing money, and there is a horrible end to that. I mean, just like I said, I paid $3 for a dollar juice that I was paying a dollar for 2, 3 years ago. Paid
Yeah.
$3 for it last night. So it's that type of consequence that we're going to be taking in the future.
But if that
But
$5 was from your stimulus check, it would be okay,
see that, and that's what which they
right?
ain't send yet. See,
If, if you cash your stimulus check and that $5 came from that, that's not from your pocket. You spend that instead of $3, you're spending the five.
I know, right? See that, but that's how they paint the picture to us. But that's not
It's
that's not
it's
how,
not reality.
at all.
Yeah.
At all.
And so this great reset is, I mean, they are making moves quicker, way quicker. The countries are talking about the great reset. Other individual leaders, other banks are talking about it. It's not that it's not out in the open, but us as Americans don't think like, what are they talking about? An economy, a world currency. What is that? Bitcoin. What? Ain't no
I
Bitcoin. I
know
got
people.
$1 in my pocket.
I know people start getting confused, acting all weird.
Yeah. And so what I watched a video not too long ago, and this guy who is really into where did I hear it? No, I watched a video where somebody was explaining that these bitcoins that are coming out are just test products
Hmm.
to find
Yeah.
out the best way to actually have one world currency.
Hmm. They said
And
that I just heard a conversation. It's on top of that was that Jeff Bezos is actually working on a crypt cracker type of technology, a technology that can crack encryptions.
yeah,
So he's working on, because that's cryptocurrency, works on that what's that, blockchain system.
yeah.
He's actually working and creating, looking to build things to crack encrypted codes and things like that. But continue on.
Well, that's with the quantum computers.
Yeah, yep, that's what they were talking
And
about.
so
Yep.
using quantum computers, because quantum computers don't use the what is it, like zero and ones, whatever that's, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah,
Um,
the
I was gonna,
algorithm.
I was about to say the Dewey system, but whatever it is,
Hmm.
there is every computer that we have right now uses 0 and 1 um, to store to any kind of information, and that's been since the beginning of computers, the binary system. So
Yeah.
the binary system is 0 and 1s, and so my sister's texting me because she's my teacher. Thank you, Angie. I love you. So every computer has the binary system, but the quantum computers don't. And so that's the race right now, is to find out, the race for technology is to try to get these quantum computers so that they can crack. And what the fear is that they will be able to crack all of the codes. And so if
Mm.
you think about the binary system, our binary system is just based on, and the reason why we need more space and more space and more space and more space is because there's only so many ones and zeros to make each code.
Right.
So we just keep on adding millions and millions of zeros and ones and different algorithms of zero and ones to our storage, and all of our information is stored in zeros and ones. And this and one um, And the reason why it's hard to crack some of these things is because you have to figure out the algorithm of those zeros and ones to get into the information.
Nation,
But
right.
but the quantum computers don't think like zeros and ones. It's basically they start to think that in a way that humans think, and kind of look at nature and be able to figure out what nature could do and grow basically and mutate into what it is not. So if they figure out it's not 010, it'll keep on computing until it grows into something that it can
Came from.
find out that. And so this crypto, banking system is all based off of the binary system. And so whoever can control the quantum mechanics and the quantum computers in the way that they do that, that's the next level.
See that, and then there'll be the powers to control how we run our currency.
Yeah, they're talking about AI in that. I mean, imagine right now AI only goes on the binary system. Well, imagine an AI that can actually figure out what an environment is, and so when it goes out into environment, it's saying to itself, this is not this, it's not this, it's not this, so it should be this, it's not this. Also, since it's this, it's, I can move this way, and and so AI turns into a whole separate, a whole nother level of not just doing what it's told to do, but actually evolving into just like somebody or something in an environment.
And doing its own thing.
Yeah.
Right. But see, that's what I said. Like, in the movies, there are a couple movies. I'm gonna start sharing some movie titles because there are a few movies out there that's already on Netflix that actually some really cool robot. If you just type and see, Netflix has it in their algorithm. If you just type in robot movies, they'll pull up all type of crazy robot movies. But there's a few movies that I've watched that they get real in depth in how the AI is going to be having so many different human abilities, but these movies, what we know from history is that if they show you in a movie, they've already done it. They've already been years ahead of already creating that.
Yeah.
It's just now how can I get this to the masses? But it always starts from the smallest thing. Okay, can we get in with this? Can we get in with this? If we can get them to conform in these different ways, all of these ways that we line up for them to conform into lines up for what our bigger play is, which would be eventually how Amazon is mostly ran like the main thing, computers and AI. I only have a few workers working for me, but they realize that, we got all these people working, all this labor. We could just get rid of them and just have the computers running the system and taking care of everything. But not to get too carried away. But
I mean, that's ultimately the one world order, the all of those stories that that I grew up, in my teenage years, hearing about a one world order was all about computers taking over. But I will tell you what I'm seeing in my lifetime today, right now. It is the people that run the computer systems, the AI, the media. I mean, I went on my Twitter account today. I've never been on Twitter more than I have in the last maybe month.
Right.
I've had a Twitter account for a long time. I never went on Twitter. But once I never knew the power of Twitter.
Yeah. Twitter's a whole nother world.
But my boy Demise, he said, you got to get on Twitter. And I was like, it's just another media site. It's another thing I'm going to waste my time on and get into the rabbit hole. I remember I downloaded TikTok. I was on TikTok for 2 hours one day, and I was like, what am I doing?
I know, right?
I took it off my phone. I said, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the devil. TikTok is the devil.
It is.
So
one of the fastest growing.
So I went there. So I went to Twitter and I started getting all this information. I started half of the information that I prepared for a lot of these podcasts are coming from other people doing the work. So these aren't things that I'm coming up with and reporting on. I'm just taking information from them, looking at their content, going into their content, going and getting all of the different articles and different things and coming up with my own ideas,
Connecting the dots.
connecting the dots.
Yep.
But I went on Twitter this morning, and when I first went on Twitter before I was all into all this, I only had like 2 or 3 people that I followed, and I maybe more, but I had some vegan people that I followed.
Hmm.
I had some Christian leaders that I followed. And out of those people that I didn't see them in the last couple of weeks or so, every other stream, it was kind of, you would pick them up, but there were more people that I was adding, because when you get into that Twitter
Yeah.
hole,
That
you're like,
thread.
oh, this
Yeah.
person's putting up good
This
stuff.
person.
This
Yep.
person.
Yep.
So
They keep-
you start to see their feeds, and you start to think, oh, this is the information that I want. This is what I believe in. So you're gathering all your people that are on a level that you want to see every day,
Yeah. Like-minded.
like-minded, all of that stuff. In one day, they all left. When I looked at my Twitter feed today, all I saw was vegan, vegan, vegan. John Piper, who's a Christian,
Oh,
and
what?
I didn't see anybody. Maybe one person that was giving me information, and they came up with a different name that wasn't even their own name.
What? They all really?
All of them are shot down. Oh, they have a list going on. The original list was like 12 of the original Patriots that were the mainstream. They were the hardcore.
Oh,
There are people out there. That's
yeah.
my
Steve,
cat.
they just took down Steve Bannon. They said he had a big YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, but
And
I'm not
Steve
even
Bannon
talking
said,
about though. I'm talking about people like me and you who have built a platform, and there are whistleblowers, there are government people that are feeding them information so that they can get it out to the masses on an underground level on Twitter and YouTube and things like and avenues or platforms
wow.
like that. I mean, they have their inside connections. They're not just, I mean, me and you, we work at a hospital. We have
Right.
some passions. We want to create a platform and talk
Right.
about this stuff. But we don't have people like actually working in the government giving us information. You know what I'm
Formation.
saying?
Yeah.
And
That'd be
so
crazy.
those are the people
You're
that
getting shut
Twitter,
down. You're
they're
definitely
getting,
going,
they
yeah.
get shut down. Yeah,
Is it like, hold up, who do you know? Oh, they telling it. See, but that's why it's people like us. We get it. See, we get a little bit. We take what we get. Okay, boom, and bring it. That's what one of the things I like to say is that we put it all on the table
yeah.
here, right here. Like I say, right here, we put the
And
platform
that's not
to
diminishing what
the
we're
lines.
doing,
Yeah,
because
no,
they can
yeah, and
only,
that's the thing.
because they're not reaching the same population we're reaching.
Exactly. We're just giving the information to people who may not heard it, and we're
Yeah,
and we're disseminating in the best way that we feel like it needed to be disseminated too,
yeah,
because everybody's truth is could be skewed, but there's one truth that I like to hold that's everybody, and that's just like we said, that democracy and that being able just to have my civil rights, be able to make my decisions, how I make my decisions, and those decisions being best for me and my family, not because a government or a political leader is telling us, oh, this is how we need to start living now. But what's really happening is that they're just uh greasing the hands and the palms of somebody that they're doing a job with, or that they're got policies and stuff they got paid off for. That's the kind of stuff that just gets me so upset. And that's why this platform is something that we just come here and we talk about these different things,
yeah,
because it's so much that happens under under wraps that we don't see as the American people. And so many people take what they see on for face value, like whatever news that comes on TV, that's what's happening. Whatever they say, that's what they do. Like even with this vaccine, I'm not against it. It's just I wasn't even really with the flu shot. It's like, just putting in a foreign agent into your body, and just to see people holding up signs and stuff, say, I took the shot, I took the shot, as if to say, I look at me, I took the shot, I'm better than you. Why you want to take the shot? Oh, look, you're so scared. Look at me. And I'm like, you remember those guys yesterday was all telling us about how sick they got, and I'm like, I don't want to get sick though. I don't get sick. So for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I've probably been sick 3, 4 years. I said I don't really. So for me to even think about getting sick, it's like you want me to get sick. One guy's like, "Oh, they give you the COVID, and then the second shot is the cure." It's like, bro, like to your kids, this like like you saying to your children, like
I try to, it's hard for me to keep my mouth shut. I try so hard.
I know, man, I
You
know.
walked away, I stayed there, and I was just like,
That's why I just walk away. It'd be too much.
yeah,
I can't.
but
I
it,
can't.
it's, but the thing is, we are talking about this today, that there's going to be, and this is just figurative. It's not real life.
Yeah.
But there's certain people that we all know that will never come to grips that what they see and the government that they think is good for them, they will never see the truth, and they will
Ever.
never understand that the people that they looked up to, that they thought were for them, but really against them,
Mhm.
that they will never see that truth. And we were talking today. I was talking to somebody, and they were just like, "There's certain people that they might as well just we might just go out, shoot them in the field because
I know. I know. That's how I be feeling. But it's a
you know."
lost cause.
And I know it's figurative, but it's just it is like that, man. It's like,
Mhm.
and if you could show me and you could tell me that the people that I think are not doing the right thing for me are doing the right thing for me, then please show me.
Exactly. That's it.
Show me
Show
where
me.
Governor Cuomo is doing the right thing for me and my family in New York.
They
Prove to
can't.
me that he is. That the mayor of Rochester is doing the right thing
They
for our
can't.
family. Show me what she's put into place that is going to grow the economy and bring people out of poverty. Show me where it is.
They can't do it. It's all sensationalism. That's all it is. They can't. It's just all sensationalism. It's just, yeah, it's the person I voted for. As long as they're a Democrat, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
As long as that my allegiance is to that party, it
And
doesn't matter.
I said this before. I think the game plan for the Democratic Party is to ruin every stronghold state that they
Yep.
have. New York, California, all the Illinois, Pennsylvania, all these areas that people are saying we can't live here anymore. The taxes are too high. It's just crazy. And where do they move? They go straight to a Republican state who at least adhere to some kind of um, belief system that lesser taxes,
Yep.
less control over people's lives, less policies that would inhibit small businesses. Those type of places are the places, the Texases, the Floridas,
Yep.
the South Carolinas, the all of these states that are flourishing or trying to flourish, at least have some optimism of flourishing after this COVID thing. Um, those are the states where everybody's running.
Hightelling. Yep. I just seen it today. I think what it said, 500,000 people have left California,
Yeah,
500,000 and migrated to Texas. Now I don't know, was that yeah, 500,000 people from California
I think
migrated
Texas should
to
be.
Texas
They should be catching them at the border. But like, yo, what are you, Democrat, Republican? You
because they're
can't come.
changing it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because then you change the political
because
party.
then you go into Texas and then you start to corrupt in that same mindset and they don't even get it. You
Yeah,
left the area because of the policies that you believe in.
yeah, yep.
It's crazy. I just don't. Those are the people that I don't think you should let them in.
No, not at all. I mean, And that's the thing. They actually asked the mayor of Texas. I'm missing his name right now about that.
The
About
governor.
the governor. Yep.
Yeah.
And they actually asked him about that, and he was saying that he said it'll never happen. And he was saying, nah, he said, I don't ever see it happen just because of the overwhelming support of Republicans there. But we look, it could easily be, man, listen, elections are being frauded. It's all kind of, it could be had. Best believe that it could turn blue quick. You
Listen,
just better be
I
careful,
went to
man.
Texas right before the elections or during the
Hmm.
elections, and there was plenty of Biden supporters out there.
Hmm.
Plenty of Biden supporters. So you look at certain cities in Texas, they are Democratic ran cities. It might not be the whole, Austin is a Democratic city, I believe. They got
Hmm.
a Democratic mayor. And you know what? I don't want to even get into that argument about Democrats and Republicans because I'm at the point where they're all the same.
I know because we don't know who's with who and who's doing what. So
The only
at
thing
the,
that they do is they give the people who believe in less taxes and more rights, they give them a little bit of, snippets. So that's what the Republicans do to get their people, and the
Mhm.
Democrats are like, "Oh, you want free handouts? You want this? I got you. Take care of this. We'll fight for your social rights. We won't let anybody oppress you. Feminism. We're pro feminism. We're pro. We're pro black. We're pro this. We're pro
Gay.
this. Pro gay. Trans.
Everything.
All that stuff. But yet they don't. They're not doing anything for them. They're giving them little crumbs that fall under the table.
Yep, that's
So
it.
it's all a mirage, man. It's all a mirage, and so I I think we can close it up.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. You can go
unless
ahead
you've
and give
got
your
more
final.
points.
No,
Um,
listen, I had some points, but I felt
go
like
ahead.
we
I,
no, no. I
let's
mean, I
chop it
touched
up.
on some. I touched on some. No, just the one thing, the one law that I see that Biden's trying to do with the domestic terrorism law.
Yeah.
They're saying that he's trying to put some things that after what happened with the storming of the Capitol, domestic terrorism laws. And I said that is, I just when I see that, I believe that is something that we definitely need to watch as a people too, to where because now with the when he spoke against Ted Cruz and Senator Hawley, when he said that against them and tried to relegate them to being a Nazi and a part of the Nazi party, you have to look at them as trying to create Republican, quote unquote, Republicans as being the voice of the Nazis and
Yeah.
that the people that are fighting for what's right are being the ones that are the supporters are actually the soldiers of the Nazi party. So we have to be careful in these different legislations and these laws that are trying to be implemented to actually hurt the people because what one of them make it seem that oh they're here for racist purposes or they're here to just hurt where some people are really looking like yo I need change. I mean these restaurants shout out to the one guy too that you put me on to that has the bar stool. He's doing
Yeah.
the bar stool fund. What's his name again? You know off the top of the head.
Uh,
Yeah,
I,
he has a weird name too. His name
oh
is really
yeah.
weird. Well, I'm gonna put him. I'm gonna shout him out because he has that bar stool fund
Is
that's
it
been helping
David?
out a lot of
Dave?
restaurants. Barstool Fund. Now we're gonna find it. I got his name right here. His name is who does the Barstool Fund? Oh my gosh, it's not even showing. Dave Portnoy. Portnoy?
Yeah.
Dave.
Portnoy, I think it is. Yep.
Yeah, Dave
I thought it
Portnoy.
was Dave, but I couldn't remember his last name. Yeah.
Yep, and he started the Barstool Fund, and a lot of people are looking, and actually Elon Musk is actually going to be joining them in that. He's raised over about 20, he said $21 million to date.
Yeah.
And he's been helping out so many different restaurants, people that have been reaching out to him with valid situations. He's been helping pay employees and help these restaurants stay open. But you have to understand that the American people out here, we have some people that have their own personal agendas, but for the most part, people are suffering and people are hurt. And
Yeah.
a lot of people see where this is headed.
Yeah.
And, with the COVID and everything, we understand that was a pandemic. But during the pandemic, there was also some plandemic that took place as well. And a lot of people capitalized and made a lot of money out of this. So
Sure.
those are just some things that I noticed that took place that's just adding to this racial divide. And with us being divided, we have to find a way to bring back the wholeness, because even in our division, the division is silly, because we all want the same thing
Sure.
at the end of the day, is to be free and to speak our truth. So that's pretty much probably how I would wrap up what I wanted to
No,
say.
it's good. Good. Yeah. Good energy.
That's
I
all I
mean, no
wanted to
matter
really
what,
touch on.
no matter what, if me and you, um, your family and my family, if we stay divided, there is no power in what I would say the people of America,
All right.
and they know that. And so, as long as you stay in your house, I stay in my house, and we don't get along, they won,
Yeah.
and we continue to lose, and that's the truth.
Yep. So with that said, peoples, I said the racial divide. Soon we're gonna be having these podcasts and stuff uploaded to different streams. We're trying to get a whole season done. Once we get the whole season done, we're gonna upload everything and have it out there for you guys. Thank you for supporting, and we'll definitely be locking in with you again next week. Jeff, I'll chop it up with you throughout the week, man.
All
Awesome
right.
show.
Peace out, man. And
Peace.
take care, all you viewers. Thanks for stopping in. And get your popcorn out, get your large soda, and sit back and watch the video or the movie, because it's about to go down.
And with that, I'm gonna just leave them with a nice little video of a little financial video that I found that I thought it would be helpful to kind of speak to our point as well. And my boy Frank, good show. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you tuning in. And I got a little video here for the people. And we out. Peace.
All
Have
right.
you learned everything there is to know about successful wealth building strategies? The saying goes, if you want to become a millionaire, learn from a millionaire. If you want to become a billionaire, learn from a billionaire. The years 2009 through 2012 saw an enormous transfer of wealth upwards to the top 1% of money earners, and particularly the top 0.1%. According to economists working with Sensa data at the Pew Foundation, from 2009 to 2011, the net worth of the top 7% gained 28%, while the bottom 93% dropped 4%. These wide variances were driven by gains in stock, bonds, and real estate prices. Since the end of 2011, these markets have continued to climb, further enhancing wealth and income at the top. Home ownership has declined almost every month since early 2009, and housing prices have been driven up by Wall Street speculation, foreign money, and U.S. investors hoping to rent out or flip homes for a profit. Inflation-adjusted median U.S. income has declined about 6% since 2009. Things are not looking better economically for 9 out of 10 Americans. Adjusting for inflation, the bottom 90% of workers have seen a decline in their income of 10.7% from 2002 through 2012. Meanwhile, the top 1% to 0.5% have seen a gain of 11.3%, and the top 0.1% to 0.01% have seen a gain of 29.5%. Membership in the elite group of top 0.5% is likely to come from being involved of some aspect of the financial services or banking industry, real estate development involved with those industries, or government contracting. Hardworking and clever physicians and attorneys can acquire as much as 15 to 20 million before retirement, but they are rare. Those in the top 0.5% have incomes over 500,000 if working, and a net worth of over 1.8 million if retired. The higher we go up into the top 0.5%, the more likely it is that their wealth is in some way tied to the investment industry and borrowed money, rather than from personally selling goods, services, or labor, as do most in the bottom 99.5%. They are much more likely to have built their net worth from stock options and capital gains in stocks, and real estate and private business sales, not from income which is taxed at a much higher rate. These opportunities are largely unavailable to the bottom 99.5%. People in the top 0.1% come from many backgrounds, but it's infrequent to meet one whose wealth wasn't acquired through direct or indirect participation in the financial and banking industries. A highly complex set of laws and exemptions from laws and taxes have been put in place by those in the uppermost reaches of the U.S. financial system. This allows the elite wealthy to protect and increase their wealth and significantly affect the U.S. political and legislative processes. They have real power and real wealth. Ordinary citizens in the bottom 99.5% are largely not aware of these systems, do not understand how they work, are unlikely to participate in them, and have little likelihood of entering the top 0.5%, much less the top 0.1%. Moreover, those at the very top have no incentive whatsoever for revealing or changing the rules.